What is up, my collectors? It is your boy Reeferino here, and today we will be looking at the 4th form Frieza figure from SH Figure Arts. This is a figure I've wanted for quite a while now. I just found out that they're selling my boy at Target, so go get him. Well, actually not yet. We need to review him first and see if he is worth it. I'm actually so ecstatic for this review. I've heard nothing but good things about this figure, except from one person who said they had really bad QC issues, so I hope mine is okay. If not, then maybe I can return it. There was a lot of Friezas at my Target. They were stocked, like, I can tell. Oh my goodness. Here he is. He's so tiny. Oh my goodness. I don't think I have an SH Figure Arts figure this small. Pieces are all over the place. I gotta clean up. So let's fade in, fade out, and see this boy in closer detail. And we are back with Frieza in hand and with his tail equipped, and I must say, this figure is amazing. And I know that Frieza is my favorite Dragon Ball figure, but this guy does not disappoint. I love him. I think he's really good. There are a little bit of issues, but we'll get into those things starting now with appearance. So as you can see, Frieza's got the purple chromy-domy look to him on his forehead and on his shoulder pads, as well as his chest and near his feet. So, you know, he's got all that purple metallic shininess to him. So it's really cool, but there is a bit of an issue with it. Although the paint is cool and shiny, you can definitely tell that, like, especially right here, this is going to rub off over time. You can kind of see it already beginning with a little blotch right here. And yeah, if I touch the paint too much, it'll start wiping off. I mean, the paint looks good, don't get me wrong, but it'll definitely be wearing and tearing over time. Moving past that fact, you know, he's got his iconic little grin to him. I love it. So it's just encapsulates the character so well. I cannot believe how great they made him. He's got that whitish, grayish skin tone to him. I mean, y'all know Frieza. You know how he is. So yeah, I really think they nailed the skin tone with that. And other than the skin tone and the purple, that's really all there is to him with the color palette they chose. He's got some black toenails on his feet and, you know, his tail, which is all one piece, by the way, which is kind of a hindrance, which we'll talk about in articulation. He's got a hole in this head, not the other two, but I will show you that later with accessories. Overall, appearance on Frieza, it looks really freaking good. It's just, you know, with this shiny little paint. It is a little bit unfortunate. Let's get into articulation. So Frieza's neck can move down a really good amount and move up pretty decent as well, side to side. Arms, I love what they did with the arms. So he can T-pose and then some, going up like this. And then the joint can move up and down. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it has like an upper and then a lower. And then also the butterfly joint, you can make it come out, just going straight forward. Look at that. It's so, I love it. I think it's a little weird that it's purple. Maybe it's supposed to be purple like in canon. I'm not sure. Regardless, the arm articulation is freaking phenomenal. You can get these arms to really move in any way you want them to with like no difficulty whatsoever. Double bend the arm, bicep swivel, moving to the torso. You know, he can ab crunch obviously, but don't do it too much or you'll start getting gaps. And it's kind of hindered a little bit by this purple piece right here. But I would say it's still pretty freaking good for Frieza. Legs can move up really well. Actually, I think they can go 360. Yeah, they can, ooh, no, maybe not. They're also kind of like on the same joint as the arm, so they do kind of need to be like put back in place once you move them. It's unique, but it works for Frieza and you can get him into some really good kicking poses. Double bend at the knee. There's no leg swivel obviously because his legs are kind of short. And then the feet, they're on a ball hinge and you can rotate them all the way around. And then there's also swappable feet we'll get into with accessories. So overall, articulation is pretty good except for one little thing, which is the tail. The tail is on this ball joint. Oops, it popped off. But as you can see, it's on this ball joint that you just kind of pop into the back of him. Unlike other Dragon Ball characters with a tail, this tail is a singular piece. So it can be a really big pain when you're trying to get him to stand. I have the tail in a random position. Check this out. Like here, he's standing, but you know, it's still, he's very top heavy. Speaking of the tail, let's delve into accessories. So the first accessory was obviously his tail. The second accessory is an add-on for his head. I showed you guys the hole at the top of this one. So during the Tournament of Power, Frieza was dead and had a halo over his head. So they gave us a little halo effect. So if you want a Tournament of Power Frieza, you know, you can just add the halo and then boom, you have that. Usually swapping off the heads for a figure like this would be easy, but for me it's not because this ball joint is kind of a pain. I will show you that right now. So when I try to place the head on, the ball joint ends up moving out of place. Like I'm forcing it on right now, and then the ball joint will like move to the edge where I can't fit the head in the hole. So that's kind of annoying. And then also sometimes I'll end up pulling the neck off when I'm trying to pull off the head, which also isn't very good. There, I managed to do it off camera. So the head swapping is possible for me. It's just a little bit annoying, but as you can see here, Frieza's second head looks like a kind of irritated, teeth gritting face. I love this. I love it every time in Dragon Ball where Frieza gets humbled. It's just so funny to me and so enjoyable.
That's why your power level is pathetic.
That's why your family's dead. Dead as hell. What's their power level? What power level do they have at the ground?
And then Frieza's third head is this screaming, shouting, blasting face, but it's not like a angry blast. It's more like an oh crap blast because he looks so scared. You can even see he's got veins popping out on the side of his head just from stress. It's so great. Moving on to hand accessories. So including the fists he has on right now, he comes with 3 pairs of hands and then 2 pointing finger hands that only go on his right. So we'll show you that right now. To swap the hands, it's pretty simple. You just pull them off like you do the head, and then you pop them back in on the joint. So hand swapping is relatively simple. This first pointing finger, which is only again on his right hand, is more of like a come here pose, like he's challenging someone. This other pointer hand is more of like his finger blasting hand that he does a lot, so I would use this one a lot. His second set of hands include like these open palm hands, as you can see, so these can really be like any key blasts that require the use of his whole hand. And then these last set of hands are just some relaxed palm hands that can really be used for anything. And then that is it for hands, but we are not done with accessories. We still have a little bit to show you. So he also comes with a single crossed arms piece. To get the crossed arms piece on, it's somewhat simple. You got to pull off both the arms, as you can see. It's not really difficult to do so. It's more so getting these shoulder pieces lined up so that the arm crosses meet. Took me a few minutes, but I finally got it. I'm not a big fan of the cross arms that come as one piece. I'm much more of a 2-piece cross arms guy, kind of like Naruto's, but this is an older figure, so it comes as one piece, and that's what it looks like with his arms crossed. So whenever Frieza ends up flying through the air, his feet are no longer stamped on the ground. They end up like loosening at his toes, so they gave us swappable feet for when he's flying in the air. So to swap out the feet, again, it's like the hands, you pull off his foot like so, and then you just pop it in the joint. All right, and then as you can see, this is what it looks like when he's got one foot planted on the ground and another one floating in the air. Yes, he does come with the other foot effect, but I'm not going to put that on for the sake of his last accessory, which is a Dragon Ball. It's the 5-star Namek Dragon Ball from the Namek Saga. A lot of Namek Saga figures ended up getting this as an accessory, so like you can collect all 7 Namek Dragon Balls, but I'm not gonna end up doing that. I just think it's really cool that Frieza came with one. And the pose I want to get him in for it is him putting his foot on the Dragon Ball. Alright, and then there we go. I kind of got the pose to hold right there. I just think that looks so menacing and cool. And yeah, so that is really all of his accessories. There's a lot considering how much this figure is worth. It's a $35 figure and it comes with all this. Quick little height comparison to show you how small Frieza is standing next to other Dragon Ball characters. On the left, we have full power Super Saiyan Goku, and on the right, we have Vegeta from the superhero movie. And yeah, this looks pretty accurate. I'm pretty sure Frieza's canon height is like 5'1". Vegeta's is 5'5", and then Goku's is 5'9". So yeah, it makes sense why he is more than a whole head smaller than Goku, and almost a little bit at Vegeta's shoulders. Now, Frieza, fourth form, is a short dude, and they definitely definitely pulled that off with making a tiny figure so articulate. For the time being, he's going to be doing the splits because I cannot get him to lean on his tail right now. Regardless, this is the conclusion part of my review where I give each figure a rating scale out of 10 based on 5 categories that I came up with. If you disagree with me, that is your opinion, but this is my biased final thoughts. First category, appearance. I'm going to give this guy a 1.75 out of 2. He looks like Frieza. His faces look like Frieza. It's all Frieza-esque. It's just a matter of that purple shiny paint that'll definitely rub off over time, and it already started to rub off, so I had to give a little bit of my boy a tiny bit discredit for the paint rubbing off. Articulation, I'm gonna give this guy a 1.75 out of 2. Again, everything moves amazingly. He is great. He can pose super duper well. It's just that tail, man. That tail makes it really hard to balance, and it's not like other figures with imperfect cell where you can get around it because it has double joints. No, this tail is a single joint, and that makes it really hard for my boy to stand up. Accessories, this is an easy 2 out of 2, the easiest 2 out of 2 in my life. This is the best Dragon Ball figure you can buy right now for the price in terms of accessories. So go get my boy Frieza if you're looking for a figure that comes with a lot, because considering how much he is worth, he comes with so much accessories. Value for money, if it wasn't obvious, this is also going to be a 2 out of 2. He moves great, he poses great, he looks great, he has all of these amazing accessories. He's the biggest bang for your buck Dragon Ball figure I think you can find right now. And then finally, personal enjoyment. This should not be a surprise. Easy 2 out of 2. I love Frieza, and I was kind of ready to be hard on this figure because of my love for the character. I'm not the type of person to look past figure flaws, even if it's because I like the figure. In fact, it's quite the opposite. If I like the character, I'm more likely to be more critical on the figure. But there's only 2 complaints, is the paint rubbing off, potentially, and the tail being kind of a hindrance to him standing up, which are both things you can get around if you're careful / smart. And I just love this figure, man. So totally in all those points up, that's a 9.5 out of 10 action figure. It's almost perfect. It's just those 2 things I mentioned before. If you are looking for $35 Dragon Ball action figures, get this guy before anything else. He is amazing. And I'm not sure if they're ever going to remake a 4th form Frieza anytime soon. They just came out with a Mecha Frieza that's a premium Bandai exclusive, and no, I'm not gonna get that. So yeah, definitely pick this guy up. He is the cheapest Frieza, and as far as I'm concerned, he's my favorite form of Frieza, so there's no reason why you shouldn't be grabbing my boy. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the end of this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and tell me what you enjoyed. If you didn't, leave a comment and tell me what you disliked or that I can improve upon, because I made this figure to improve my knowledge on action figures. I collect the Naruto SHF line, the Dragon Ball SHF line, and the JJK SHF line. More reviews on those guys coming soon. Right now, the budget is $0, but I will take any figure recommendations you guys have, as well as any content recommendations. I've caught up on all of my reviews so far. I'm just waiting on 2 figures for the month of September, but yeah, hopefully I can do some stop motions and some other things now that I have quite a collection of figures that I've accumulated for the past few months. With all that being said, guys, that's gonna leave it for me. Hope you have a good rest of your day or night, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!